Good day. My name is Susanda Henda, and you're watching Open Studio on Cape Town TV. Today, I'm with my wonderful guest, Christelle, who is a wheelchair dancer. Wheelchair dancer?
Yes.
All right. Tell us how this all started with you. When did you start dancing?
I started dancing when I was in primary school. I was very young and yeah, the dancing started there.
Okay, you're going to have to help me with this name. You are living with a condition called osteogenesis. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Osteogenesis imperfecta.
Okay, what is that? Please educate us on that.
So osteogenesis imperfecta is a genetic disease or disorder, which means I was born with it. And what it happens is that my bones are fragile or brittle, so they can break easily if I fall or bump or something like that.
So now you've already mentioned some of the challenges you face. I can just imagine then, with all these challenges that, having the brittle bones and everything, how does that then affect your dancing?
Funnily enough, I've learned over the years to actually dance quite well. I haven't broken any bones while dancing, which is amazing because I managed to break bones everywhere else, but when I'm dancing, I don't understand it myself. It's kind of cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the thing is, you discovered this condition before you actually started dancing. Where did you then gain the courage to, pursue dancing if you knew that, my bones are,
I think that because I love and I'm passionate about dancing, it's like I felt like this is something that I need to do, and I just did it regardless of knowing that I might break a bone, I might get hurt. It's just like, when you really want to do something, you're like, I just have to. So, yeah.
And what did family and friends say? Or were they supportive all the way?
Everybody's supportive, my family and friends, but I think sometimes people think I'm insane. So, yeah.
So where did you first start enrolling for dancing?
I started at school, like I said, and then I was a ballroom dancer. So I was at a ballroom dancing school, and from there I started just taking random classes everywhere I could in whatever style they would allow me to dance, and I've been a freelance artist for a few years now.
So, Christelle, have you faced any prejudices? I mean, from the dance community, walking in spaces, people already forming assumptions about you and things like that?
At the beginning, it happened all the time because when you're in a room with professional dancers with muscles and beautiful legs and they're kicking and they're jumping around, and you come there with a wheelchair, they're like, what's she doing here? And they're kind of like, they're looking at you like, why are you here? You're in our space type of a thing. But I think over the years, as the dancing community started to get to know me, it's much easier now for me to walk into any or most studios, and people all know me and accept me. So yeah.
That's really amazing. What I'd really like to know is how you came over that intimidation. As you're saying, all these professional dancers and they got all these beautiful bodies. Where did you find the strength to be like, no, you know what, I'm going to do this, I'm going to push on for it?
Like I said, I just want to dance. I don't care whether they think I'm good at it or not. My aim is not to be perfect or the best dancer. I just want to dance. And whether I'm the slowest in the studio, it doesn't really matter to me. So I don't care. I just want to dance. It's exciting. I'm here to dance. So I just dance,
I can hear the passion when you're talking about it. What happens to you when you're on the dance floor or when you're on stage? Where is your head at? Do you feel like you're in heaven or let us know, please?
I don't know. I can't even describe it. There's experience that you get from a performance that I don't think most dancers or artists can describe. It's like it's a self-expression. Like these things that you want to say, but you never find the words to say them. And in that moment of dance or movement, that's where you can be like honest and true and just let go of whatever emotion you have and just express. And people can't judge you in that moment. Like if you say words, people will be like, no, why are you saying that? But when you're dancing, it's just free and you can just express whether you're sad or happy. And just in that moment, you're just yourself. So I think it's that.
So, as I said, you sound very passionate. I mean, you're talking about how you come through so much to get to where you are in your career. But I'm sure it wasn't just, oh, I'm a happy dancer, I mean, there had to have been some down days as well. Did you come to that? Did you ever have to deal with that where you second guessed yourself in dancing? Or basically, if that did happen, how did you overcome those down days?
I think you always have down days in general in life, and when you're feeling like I can't do this and I'm too slow and I can't jump that high or I can't do the leg things like the others, and you feel like am I sure that I really want to do this? And then you're like a few days that you're not in the studio and you're like, I miss dancing so much, and you go back and then it's like everything, you forget the doubt that you had about not being able to do whatever it was. It's like if you really love something, I think that you just kind of forget the negatives about it.
So you just said, of the things that you can't do, you can't jump, maybe you can't put your leg this high or whatever the situation might be. What can you do that other abled bodies can't do?
So I'm quite flexible in my joints. So I'm quite double jointed. So I can do certain things that they were like, whoa, how can you do that? So I guess it's that.
And how do you use that to your advantage? I mean, whenever maybe someone's trying to flex, and then you kind of show them,
I think it's kind of cool because in the first place, they don't expect me to be able to actually do something like the splits or anything like that. So when I do it, they're just like going to shock. Person in a wheelchair can do the splits or lift a leg like that, or yeah.
So how long has it been right now, and what is it that keeps you going back to dancing?
I'm very bad at the math, but I think it's about 15 years on average. And what keeps me going is that I know that in Cape Town or in South Africa in general, there's not a lot of opportunities, encouragement for disabled people to see and that they actually can become a dancer or actor or anything that they want to be. And even though it's not easy, it's difficult, someone has to show them that they can. And also my passion for it drives me as well. And I think that if I can persevere and persist, maybe I won't reap the benefits of that, but the future, the kids that are disabled will see that they can actually dance.
All right. Thank you so much. Great answer. Let's go to a quick ad break. Back after these. Welcome back. You're in Open Studio, and I'm chatting to the beautiful Christelle Dreyer, who is a wheelchair dancer. Can you tell me how aren't you happy that you pushed through? What has that done for your spirit, that through all the hurdles you faced, you still managed to get to where you are in your career today?
I think it just makes me happy, and I'm glad I persevered, and I'm glad I'm still doing it, and that I'm able to do it. I can't describe it really. I just love it so much, and I enjoy it, and I hope that I could still be doing it for a long time. Fingers crossed.
Now, you've been trained in a wide variety of dance disciplines. Do you mind telling us briefly what they are and which one is your favorite and why?
So I was trained in ballroom dancing, and then Latin dancing, contemporary dancing, and then also integrated dance, which is about, how do I explain this, where you have disabled people dancing with so-called normal people and how you manage that. And then I've slowly been doing some aerial dancing, and I'm still learning to do that, and then a bit of contortioning, but it's a slow process of learning at the moment.
Which one is your favorite and why?
I don't know what my favorite is, because each dance gives you something different, because it's a different style, so you could portray different characters and emotions, and music rhythms are different, so yeah.
For example, for you, what would be the difference between Latin and contemporary and so on?
So Latin is more structured, and you have your beats of your music that you need to be in time with, and it's all those Latin rhythms. Whereas contemporary, it's not that tight knit into certain structures, so you can create and be more free with what you choreograph and how you move, and also just the music that you use.
So, Miss Christelle, you are a world champion, a world dance champion. Do you mind telling us a bit about that? You actually came number one in Holland. Please tell us from the start to the end, what was that like? How you got in and so on.
So I competed as a ballroom and Latin dancer for quite a few years at the time. And then as you dance South African champion and Western Province championships. And then it built me up to actually being able to go to the world competition. And actually when I went there, I had this mindset of, I don't know, I'm just going for the experience. I mean, it's a world champion. There's no way I'm going to win this. Let's just go and have fun and experience the other country and dance. I just want to dance. And so we went through all the heats, and every time you go through it, you're like, oh, okay, I'm not out yet. okay. And then when they said we won, I was like, okay, what's happening? Because also when you're in another country, they speak the accent. So even though it's in English, you kind of still don't know what's happening around you a lot of the time. And so I'm like, what's happening? Why are they clapping hands? Oh, that blonde moment where you're like, maybe, yeah, cool. So I was shocked and surprised because it's something that I never expected.
That is such a sweet story. It's also a bit hilarious as well, because you get people out there who are like, I'm going to be number one. And you, I mean, that was not even it wasn't like at the forefront. You did speak about passion, earlier, previously, but I want you to explain again, in more deeper detail, especially because of the story, how important it is really to have passion for something, whereby it's not about the competition, it's that you are dancing more than anything.
I think when you're passionate about something, you will get a much better result, because if you're not going to do something 100%, it's going to be very difficult to achieve it. And it's not just about dancing, it's anything in life. If you're not going to give yourself completely and fully to whatever you're doing, it's going to make it much harder for you to achieve whatever the goal is. I mean, life is not always about winning, but I guess it's a bit about the journey of how you get there. And it's important to do something that makes you happy personally, because it's about self-fulfillment and not necessarily about your job or your money or your friends or your, I don't know, but it's a self thing at the end of the day, no matter what you're doing. And for me, dance is what makes me happy.
Please tell us about the UNI Global Union Women's Conference. What were you doing there and what was that about?
So that was, I don't know when that was in March.
You've been jet-setting so much that you
it was actually in that year. It was in Cape Town.
Oh, I see.
At the convention center.
Okay.
I see the convention center, and I was one of the artists on stage, because it was a women's conference, so we were different women across all cultures and age groups. So obviously I was the artist that was in a wheelchair on stage performing, because at these conferences they always need artists to perform. So I was one of the artists, yeah.
And what is it the Access Dance? Tell us about, what's the full name?
Access Dance Company is a company in Oakland, California, that's in the USA, and they integrated dance company. So they teach and dancers that are disabled and not disabled, but they also put on shows. It's like a dance company, but it's based in America, in Oakland. And so I went there, I was chosen by them to go there and learn skills about dancing, yeah.
For how long was it? And again, what was the experience like?
It was about 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
It was amazing because there was dancers from across the world that was chosen to go there. So it was not just dancers from America, but from Korea and just like France, just like across the world. So you get to meet all these different dancers that are disabled and also not disabled with their different dance styles, and you see what they do. And it's just like amazing growth experience. And I came back with so much knowledge. So it was cool.
That is what I was just about to ask. What did you walk away with? I mean, besides the knowledge, And besides the memories, every time you go to such events, what do you always try to walk away with?
I think a broader perspective or a mind opening, because you always need to open your mind to learning things. And I think always every time you do something like that, you open your mind a bit more and like just gives you a better understanding of people and their cultures, and so you can have better empathy for them. And yeah, and not just empathy, you understand people better.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
cultures are so different and you learn and understand.
Yes.
That's so cool.
All right, so true. Well, we do have to go to a quick ad break. Back after these. Welcome back. You're still with Open Studio. I'm Susande Hender and I'm talking to Christelle Dreyer, the amazing dancer sitting with me in studio. So 2 years ago, you were involved in a very special dance company called Remix Dance Theatre Company. Am I saying it correct? Tell us, what was that about and what your role was?
So I was part of the company, and what I did, I was teaching kids, young kids, youth, and we worked on an integration project for young kids, youth, in schools. And so what we did was we would take kids from a normal or able-bodied school and kids from a disabled school and put them together in a studio or in a dancing space and just teach them how to dance together. And it's an amazing experience because you see how the kids slowly interact and how disabled kids realize that they can dance, and not just dance but interact with normal kids or just anybody. And then the normal kids, if you can call them that, I don't know, just the other kids, they would see that actually disabled kids are exactly the same as them, and that there's actually no reason to shy away from them or be afraid of them. And the process is so amazing because by the end of the project, those kids are like best friends and we can't get them separated. You know, with kids, they talk all the time and you have to like get from one end, and they're just like friends, and it's just going from almost being afraid to interact with each other to now it's like just stay quiet already, you know. So it's really cool.
This sounds like it was a groundbreaking project. I mean, this means that for the disabled children, they get to gain more confidence, and for the able-bodied children, they get to get empathy. Would you like to speak more about that?
Yeah, I think that when you teach the kids as young as possible and open them up to the world or to each other at least, it sets a better base or ground for them later in life, because it's much more difficult to teach that to adults, but we can teach the kids to just learn how to interact with anybody. And it's just not about being disabled or not disabled, but just teaching them that you can interact with anybody. And I think it's really good to see how they learn to be comfortable with each other, to take time to listen to each other and see what the needs are of the next person. Because now you learn that I can't just do something, I have to see if I can actually push this person's wheelchair. So you learn to listen to the needs of the next person and try and help them if you can.
Why do you think a company like Remix Dance Company is so important, especially within the dance community?
I think it's extremely important because the youth is important. Because if we don't teach them, I mean, what's the future going to be like? And to teach them that they can do anything, and if people can unite, I mean, we talk about the Rainbow Nation and all those things, and if we can teach the kids that it's not just about religion or culture, it's about disability as well, and that they can all coexist together. And I think the Remix Dance Company helps in creating that platform, and it helps. I mean, every bit helps, and so I think it's amazing. And I hope that more projects of that nature will come across in South Africa. And yeah.
So I just asked you now, how important is such a company? Now I want to know, because you were part of this company, what was that like? How did you get involved? And yeah.
So as you know, I'm a dancer, and then the dance company, they knew that I was a dancer and they needed someone to teach. So they phoned me and asked me if I would like to teach. I wasn't confident. I'm like, I don't know how to teach. And kids, how many kids? Oh, that's a lot of kids.
How many kids was it?
About 30 kids per session.
Per
So
session.
yeah, and so I'm small. I'm like thinking, these kids are gonna think I'm small. I'm so young. They're not gonna listen to me. And I don't know. But then I'm like, okay, let's do this. And then I managed to teach, and I was kind of good at it. That was awesome. I learned so much about myself that I can actually command a space, and that I can actually teach people and just kids, and that there's so many ways to learn. So you learn how to work with kids. Yeah.
I would like to know a little more about, the children involved. I mean, yes, you did say some were abled and some were disabled, but what kind of communities did these, children come from? Or was there any planning towards that? Did you specifically choose, kids from particular companies, or was it just anybody?
So I wasn't part of the planning process of which schools that was chosen at the time, but we tried to do schools that kids with disadvantage does not get the exposure or to go to a dance class or extramural activities, because they simply can't afford to do things like that. And so that's based on how the schools were chosen. And then the disabled schools, we kind of looked at the schools that we could partner up with, and the ones around Cape Town that would also be interested.
What message do you have, for that disabled person that is too afraid, or anyone in fact, that is too afraid to go for their dreams because of the challenges they face?
My message to them will be that whether you're disabled or not disabled, life will always bring you challenges, no matter what you do. And if you're forever going to be afraid of what might happen, you're never going to know what can happen. And so I think just look at the positive in life and just try and do what makes you happy, and don't give up because someone said no or you can't do it. If it's something that you really believe in, no matter what it is, if you truly believe in something, I promise you that you will be able to do it. So.
Very, very wise words indeed. We have come to the end of our show. I'd like to thank my guest, Christelle. Thank you so much for stopping by. And thank you to you, the viewer, as well, for tuning in. So, from Susanda Yenda on Open Studio, it's goodbye until next time.